What's up everybody, it's the Tabletop Tyrant, and in this video we're going to tackle how to work with pewter models. I've been going around from shop to shop, kind of teaching how to play the old world, doing introductory games, painting for people, teaching painting classes. And one thing I've really been seeing some of the newer hobbyists struggle with is working with pewter and resin. I've seen some people try to glue resin minis together with plastic glue, and I've seen people take big things, or they buy like a model like Galrach off eBay, they're real excited for it, and then they assemble it with globs of super glue and it breaks. And we all know when a pewter model breaks, it's not looking too good. You can pin it all you want, but it's just not going to be there for the assembling, in my opinion. So today we're going to tackle building a pewter model. Down the line we'll tackle resin, and we're going to make it so that way we're able to get in there, build our mini up right, and paint up and get on the tabletop. A few things you're going to need when working with pewter is an X-Acto knife, old clippers. I bought these from Walmart in the arts and crafts section. You're going to want a piece of sandpaper. Mine is extra gritty from the Ace hardware store. Shout out to Ace. And then pin vise, some paper clips, and Loctite super glue I prefer. I know it's a bit more expensive, but it really does hold that model together. And then last but not least, green stuff, or your preference of anything that can fill gaps in a model. I just have a ton of green stuff laying around. Now, first things first when messing with anything pewter is I like to do an overall just look of my mini. Look where the mold lines are, look for bits of flash. Now you'll find flash on pieces like horns, dripping off chainmail, in between the guard of a sword, any type of stuff like that. Any type where you see metal just hanging off, clean that up. Now some people prefer to use clippers. I like an X-Acto knife. I put a sharp blade on it, a brand new one, and it's just a whoosh. But be careful because you can chop the horn off if you're not paying attention. So you don't want to mess that up. Now after I hunt down these dirty mold lines, I'm going to scrape the crap out of them. Now some people take a little hand filer, but I'm using what I would just have working with plastic. So I don't have a hand filer. Also, I just didn't have one laying around. So some people would use a hand filer. I'm just going to scrape it with my X-Acto knife. When scraping, don't do it where you're pointing your finger towards it and you're going to slip and cut yourself. You can get it snagged on some pieces of metal. For that, I recommend the sanding paper for anything too thick for you to chop. Now, as you look on this model, this is Archaon. His base has a scenic base, but you'll see those 3 prongs sticking out. Now, if you ever take a 40 mil base and flip it over, you'll see holes on the bottom. Now, those aren't typically magnet holes. Those were holes where old pewter characters, you would punch through the plastic and pin their foot through so they stuck on the base. They might have a secondary purpose, but that's how I've always used them. So I'm going to remove those because I made my own base, and I'm going to sand the base down just so that way it's flush with my base. So now after we've removed any mold lines, any bits of flash, we're going to go on to pinning. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pin this sword arm of Archaon into his body. Now why did I choose to pin the sword? I'm pinning the sword because it's the piece I think is going to get dinged the most, and once it's painted, I'm not going to want to deal with it bumping into something and falling off. So I'm going to take my pin vise and I'm going to drill a hole into the torso and the arm after dry fitting it to make sure it lines up. After I do that, I'm going to take my paper clip it, glue it, and clip it to size and glue it into the torso, and right there you have you've pinned your model. Now after shaving all the parts, sanding and pinning, we're going to move on to assembling the rest of the model that doesn't need to be pinned. After you do that, I recommend dry fitting before gluing and then gluing it together. After that, we're going to look at the model, inspect, and see if there's anything we miss or more that we need to do. Now as you can see with Archaon, I have some gaps on the horse, gaps on the neck, and I want to get rid of those because it won't look right painting it. So I'm going to take a little bit of my green stuff and just kind of cram it into the gaps. And then as it starts to dry and harden, I'm going to take my fresh X-Acto knife blade, I'm going to clean it up and make sure it's flush with the model so it doesn't stick out. And there you go. After assembling it, dry fitting it, and gluing it, we have a model that's ready to be primed and painted. I would wait 24 hours for the green stuff to set, and then get onto your business and get it done. It's just a quick video today, a quick little pewter guide, if you will. Stand by For other videos I got a corn dude I'm going to be doing a painting tutorial on. And then I also am going to be talking a bit about the Warriors of Chaos this week. Really fantastic army. Really dig them. Honestly, so fun to play in the tabletop. But I'm a Chaos and Orc kind of dude. Everybody, thanks for tuning in on this video. And I look forward to seeing y'all around later on. Peace.